Hello and welcome to GreenHerb-Gaming, where I share my passion of video games and video game opinions with the whole wide world. In this live stream I am playing a little bit of Sonic Mania, but I also want to have a conversation, an honest and frank conversation about the Game Awards. The Game Awards are taking place on the 12th of December. We're going to find out which game won Game of the Year. We're going to find out which game won Best Action Adventure Game, and many other nominees. And I have an issue. I have a big issue with how the Game Awards are structured. I'm just going to get my live chat on my phone. Okay. Here's the issue with the Game Awards. Games that get released like a month or two before the Game Awards being nominated for Game of the Year is a little bit odd and very unfair, in my opinion. And I'll tell you why. How is it fair to ask gamers to vote a Game of the Year if they haven't even had time to fully experience that game? How is that fair? How is that right? Are we asked to vote? Are we asked to vote again Game of the Year based off hype alone? Sales, opening sales, review scores? If so, that's a pretty strange way to nominate a game for Game of the Year. And if that game did win Game of the Year, it's a pretty strange way for a game to win Game of the Year, based off hype, sales, and review scores. Okay, so all the nominees for the Game Awards 2019 have been revealed, and I'm just going to be focusing on the Game of the Year nominees. Actually, just one nominee, and that is Death Stranding. Death Stranding has been nominated for Game of the Year 2019. Now, before I go any further, I want to state that I do own Death Stranding. I've played Death Stranding, and I actually love Death Stranding. So I just wanted to point that out. But do I think that it deserves Game of the Year 2019? No! No way! No way, not this soon anyway. Not this soon. Because the game only released a couple of weeks ago. I'm only at the beginning of the game. I don't even know what the game is yet. How can I be asked to vote that game of the Year?
Hi.
It just doesn't make any sense. James, hello to you, man. How are you keeping? Welcome to the live stream. It's great to have you as always, man. Welcome and enjoy. I'm having a conversation about the Game Awards. I don't know if you're familiar with the Game Awards, but they take place next month, the 12th of December. It's pretty much, it speaks for itself. It's an award show for video games. And I have an issue with the Game Awards, and that is, I think that games that are released...
Friend, how are you?
Glad to hear it, man. Glad to hear it, man. I'm actually very good, but I have an issue with the Game Awards. Other than that, I'm okay. I just think that a game that releases shortly before the Game Awards being nominated for Game of the Year is unfair. The reason it's unfair, I think it's unfair for... It's actually unfair for other game developers, because... I don't know if unfair is the right word to use, but it's just not right, because I haven't completed Death Stranding yet. How in the name of God is anybody going to complete Death Stranding before the Game Awards? And even if you do manage to complete it, you're not going to be able to fully experience the game in its entirety. It's a very long game. It has a lot of side missions and, you know, a very complex story. You're not going to be able to fully experience.
Joker better win Best Movie of the Year, over 1 billion without China being counted.
Without China being counted. I do think that Joker should win Best Movie. I do.
Hey guys.
At least for Chad Middleton. Welcome. Welcome. How are you keeping, Chad? Welcome to the live stream.
Hi,
it is great
Chad.
to have you, as always. So, Chad, I'm talking about the Game Awards in this live stream and my issue with it, which is basically, I think that a game that's released like 2 months before the Game Awards being nominated for Game of the Year is not right. Because, in my opinion, in order to a Game of the Year, you have to have fully experienced that game first. You can't just say, oh yeah, I heard about that game. That's a really good game. I'm going to vote Game of the Year. It's just not right. What do you think? I've got 2 people in the live chat. I got Chad and I got James. Chad and James. What do you think? Do you think that a game, and don't just agree with me, like you don't have to just agree with me. Do you think that a game that releases so shortly before a Game Awards should win Game of the Year? You know, do you agree with, like, you have to be able to fully experience the game before it can actually win that, you know, coveted title of Game of the Year? That's my only real issue. Like,
It's no 5 fair really.
yeah, it's not really like fair on other developers, because one of the other nominees is my stuff here. No. One of the other nominees is Resident Evil 2, which released. I'm not going into those special words. Which released at the start of this year, and like so many people have had so long now to experience that game because it's been released almost a year now, okay? But the thing is, it's not going to be fresh on people's mind as much as Death Stranding is. So it kind of is unfair to nominate a game that it's full of hype right now as Game of the Year, and people haven't even experienced that game. Like, what happens if you get to the middle of the game and you're like, okay, I actually don't like this game anymore? What happens if, you know what I mean? Like, what happens then? Like, does it still deserve Game of the Year? What if, like, thousands of people agree in January, right, that the middle of Death Stranding is boring as fuck, and they hate the game, and they put the game down and don't play it anymore? Does it still deserve Game of the Year? Does that make sense? I don't think it does. No, again, all of this is just my opinion. Nobody has to agree with me. You know, everyone is entitled to their opinion, and this is just my opinion. And I know I'm like a dog with a bone with everything in life, really.
Untitled Goose Game for Indie Game of the Year.
Oh, 100%. But I think that should have been nominated for Game of the Year, because last year there was a couple of indie games that got nominated for Game of the Year. I think Celeste was one of the games that was nominated for Game of the Year, and that was an indie game. So it's a pity that Untitled Goose Game didn't actually get the Covenant nominee for Game of the Year. I think it's an amazing... How many games do you get to play as a duck? How many games allows you to be a duck and to take somebody's slippers and just run around with someone's slippers, drop them into a pond? Not many is the answer to that question, in case you're wondering. It's such a unique game, and it's a really fun game, and it's just something so different to what's out there. So it's really a shame that didn't actually get, you know, Game of the Year also, but it did get nominated for best indie game of the year, and I would love to see Untitled Goose Game win that award. I love that game. I have that game also, but my issue here is with nominating a game for Game of the Year that is so fresh on people's minds that's only been released recently, and people have yet to fully experience it because their decision making is going to be based off hype and possibly word of mouth and review scores and what else? And sales and high sales of the game and stuff like that. Like, oh, it is the #1 on the charts, therefore it has to be the best game in the world. It's just a very unfair mentality. Oh, poor Tails is going to drown any second. I'm so sorry, Tails. Please forgive me, Tails. I'm sorry I killed you. I'm sorry that I killed you, Tails. I really am. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I killed you, Tails. Bit of singing there, right? Why not? But just, yeah, so James agrees that it's unfair. What about you, Chad? What do you think? I know you want Untitled Goose Game to win Indie Game of the Year. I do as well. But what are your thoughts on like how the video game awards are actually structured in terms of like what games get nominated for Game of the Year? Like, okay, let's look at it. Like, it's also been Death Stranding has also been
Destiny 2 again for the 3rd time.
Oh man, you love that game.
I agree.
Chat agrees. So far, 2 people have agreed. Now, to be fair, there's only 2 people in the live chat, so but still, 2 out of 2 people agree with me. And if you include my opinion, that's 3 people. It's just I want to focus in on the reasons why I think it's not right to have a game nominated for Game of the Year that's only been released recently. I want to focus on the reason why. It's because people have only just bought the game, and there's just so much hype surrounding it. It's such a fresh game. It's easy to like something that's only been released, but you haven't fully experienced it. You might get to the end of that game thinking, oh my god, this is the worst game I've ever played. I've played games like that. I've played games where it started off very well.
I'm at 6 battery.
Oofity oof, oofity oof, oofity oof, oof, oof. Charge on 6% battery. You better get that charger, bro. I'm only joking. So I just think like that has happened to me. I bought a game. The start of the game was amazing. I thought I'd kill Tails again, and then like the end was like, oh, what a really bad game. So if you're voting right now, for Game of the Year, and you're voting Death Stranding because you thought the opening was amazing, but you still haven't completed the game, what happens if you get to the end of that game and your opinion is, this is the worst game I've played in the last 20 years? Do you still think that game deserves Game of the Year then? Whereas Resident Evil 2 has been out long enough now, so if you wanted to play that game, you've had plenty of opportunities to. You've had almost a whole year to play that game, right? And if you love that game...
Lower the music volume.
Lower the music volume. And what if I don't? What if I don't, CV? What if I don't? You got a problem if I don't? You're gonna fight me? You're gonna fight me? I'm only joking. How do I actually do that? I don't know how to do it. I'm gonna have to like literally exit the fucking course, like. I'm sorry. I'll have to talk louder. Is that okay? Is that better? Tails is gonna drown any second. Is that better? CV. Yo, CV. Is it better, CV? Is the volume a little bit lower? Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Thanks.
No bother. But
Who votes for these rewards?
Who votes for these awards?
It should be open to the public gamers to vote.
You can vote for every nominee, Chad, but it's not completely down to the public. But nonetheless, the public can vote. But there's also like there's also a panel, like a judge panel, who will also have their input as well. But yeah, so like Death Stranding released a couple of weeks ago, and it's been nominated for Game of the Year, and I don't agree with that. because people haven't fully experienced Death Stranding. They haven't gotten to the ending of the game. They haven't fully understood the story. They haven't fully understood the gameplay. They haven't gotten the full experience. And the reality is, they could vote Death Stranding Game of the Year, Death Stranding could win Game of the Year, and then they could say to themselves, well, you know what, actually, I didn't quite like that game. And that's the issue. But a game like Resident Evil 2 has been out almost a year now, and if you have plenty of time to play that game, so if you got to the end of that game thinking, oh my god, this is terrible, you're not going to vote for Game of the Year. But if you thought, oh my god, I think this game is fantastic, then you can vote Game of the Year, and it's justified because you've played it from start to finish. Whereas a lot of people, let's be honest, like, I don't care, if you're one of those fucking nerds, right? Well, actually, Johnny, I did complete Death Stranding. Well, good for you, nerd. Other people have a life, okay? Like, that game literally came out a couple of weeks ago, right? Fuck's sake. Like, the majority of people have not...
I saw gameplay at Death Stranding laid into the game.
Who's this? I saw a gun gameplay at Death Stranding laid into the game. Yeah, apparently, like, it takes 10 hours to fully get into the game. But what happens, like, I don't know. I just don't think that it should be nominated for Game of the Year. My issue is how the Game Awards is structured when it comes to nominees. Like, the time that a game is being released. That's my... Like, it's kind of weird how...
You should get Destiny 2.
I don't know if it'll be my cup of tea, to be honest with you. But thank you all for the recommendation. I will take that into consideration. I just don't know if it'll be my kind of style of game, like, you know. But I am looking forward to the Game Awards. I actually love the Game Awards. I really do. I just have an issue with the Game Awards, and I'm entitled to my opinion, if I could say. I'm just giving my opinion. Constructive criticism to Jeff Keighley. Jeff Keighley, if you're listening, I love you, man. I really do. I love your show. I think it's great that you've put a bit of spotlight. You put a massive spotlight onto video games, and you appreciate the people who develop those games. I think that's fantastic, and I agree with you. But I'm giving you some constructive criticism in terms of how you choose the nominations and what you think is an appropriate
James, I've been telling him to get The Witcher 3 for a while now.
And I still haven't.
Happy tears.
And I still won't. But yeah, like I just think we should have a different type of structure when it comes to how long a game should be released. Yeah, how long should a game be released for it to be nominated as Game of the Year? That's the question I'm throwing out there. Let me know in the comment section below. How long do you think a game needs to be released for it to be nominated Game of the Year? Do you think it's right for a game to be nominated Game of the Year even though it's only been released like a couple of months on the market? Do you think that's right? Here's what here. I don't know. I don't know how to do it, like, but I just whatever.
Should be a year.
Should be a year. But the thing is, like, I kind of feel stupid now because that is how it's done, but it's done in a very strange way. Like, it's like I think it's literally, I don't know how it's done. I think no, it's basically from December to December, because the Game Awards is in December. So I think it's literally every game that gets released in December all the way to the next December. It's how it's chosen. But like, there should be some sort of cut-off point, and a fair cut-off point. I think that let me think about this. The Game Awards is the 12th of December.
6 months.
Do you know what? I agree with you. There should be a 6-month cut-off point for Game of the Year. But then again, then again, doesn't that... Oh, I'm confused. I'm confused. I really am. Okay, maybe not 6 months. Maybe not 6. It's a tough one. I kind of feel bad now for Jeff in a way, because it is a tough one. It is a tough one. But I just still think though, Death Stranding is just so fresh on people's minds because it's only been released, and not only that, but the game has just so much hype surrounding it because of Norman Reedus, because of Hideo Kojima. Like, Hideo Kojima has become a fucking god of gaming as of late, and it's all because of the whole Konami situation. People feel so sorry for him now because of what happened. Basically, like, God love you, Hideo Kojima. Come over here, I'll give you a hug. And it's just so great. And it's just so nice. Oh, you're making a new game. That's great, Hideo. For God's sake, that's great. No, we'll vote that Game of the Year. Like, all that is surrounding Death Stranding right now, okay?
Any game after September shouldn't count.
Any game after September shouldn't count. That's a reasonable, yeah. That's a reasonable kind of time period. Because you're thinking September, October, November. That's time enough. I agree with you. Like, I know it's called the Game of the Year. So, like, if someone released a game, they said the end of September, and it just took over the world. I don't know how to do it. It's a tough one. But I would agree with you. Like, that should be the cutoff. There should be some sort of a cutoff point. September sounds about right, in my opinion. September does sound about right, yeah. So I think overall, everyone in the live chat has agreed with me now on this. That there should be some sort of a cut-off point for a game being nominated a Game of the Year. You have to be able to experience the game to a certain extent. And here's the thing, like, if you don't have the game, and, like, you shouldn't really be voting for it, like, you should only vote if you have the game. And it's like this, if you have Death Stranding right now, there's a very slim chance that you've completed that game, because it's such a big game. It's just such a long game. It's going to take a lot of time to complete, and that's my issue. It takes a long time to complete, a hell of a lot longer than the game released in. It's going to take longer than a month to complete, because this game came out around. It could be around a month. The game would have been released around a month when the Game Awards airs. Not exactly a month, but around a month. And I don't think a month is enough time for somebody to fully take in the game's gameplay, the story, you know, everything about that game. It's going to take a hell of a lot longer than 2 months. And I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. But that's the only issue I have. I'm not going to talk about the Game Awards in its entirety, like what it is and all that. Like, it pretty much speaks for itself what the Game Awards is, really, doesn't it? I'm just here to talk. I was just here to basically just talk about my issue with it, like. But and like, it's a bit strange, really, because Death Stranding. The Game Awards is an American show. IGN is an American company, and it's also one of the biggest video game media in the world. That reviewed IGN IGN reviewed Death Stranding 6.8. It's gotten a lot of criticism. It's been called Walking Simulator and everything. Yet it still gets nominated for Game of the Year. What am I doing? Gets nominated for Game of the Year. But I'm fully convinced that Jeff Keighley just has this man crush on Hideo Kojima. I really do. I personally think that Death Stranding does not deserve to win Game of the Year. I definitely don't think it should be nominated Game of the Year, and I've explained that already. But I don't think it deserves Game of the Year. I honestly think that Hideo Kojima is overrated. So half the people who are licking his arse probably never played a Metal Gear game in their life. And Metal Gear is the only video game franchise, major video game franchise, that Hideo Kojima is known for. Yes, he made thing. He's one of the vendors, but yeah, less said about that the better. It's only when this whole Konami situation thing happened that people started to really kind of become aware of Hideo Kojima. And all these like fans who are like, Hideo, you're so great, you're a god. They've probably never played a Hideo Kojima game in their life. There's something really funny about that. I just find that really funny. I want to see Resident Evil 2 win Game of the Year. Not because I'm biased to Resident Evil. I'm not. Like, everyone knows I love Resident Evil. Like, my channel is called GreenHerb-Gaming because I named my channel after the green herb in Resident Evil. So if anyone's thinking that I'm some kind of a pothead, that's not the reason I named my YouTube channel GreenHerb-Gaming. But no, I think that Resident Evil 2 should win Game of the Year because of the work, the effort that the developers put into that game.
What games are up for Game of the Year?
I will tell you. It's Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I think a game called Control is up there, and Sakuro or something. Let me just check for you. It'll be easier. I just want to see Resident Evil 2 remake win, because the developers did an amazing job with that game, and you know, it was released over a year ago, so people had enough time to fully experience that game. So let me just have a look here now. Game of the Year. So the nominees for Game of the Year are as follows. Game of the Year. The nominees are Control, Death Stranding, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, and The Outer Worlds. Those are your nominees for Game of the Year. I voted Resident Evil 2 because here's the thing. Resident Evil 2 was a PlayStation 1 game. It was also on the Nintendo 64 technically, but it was that generation of gaming. We're talking about a completely different time in gaming, completely different types of gamers, completely different types of games. The people who played games back then are a lot different to the people who play games now. Let me just tell you that. There was a different type of behaviour, different types of personalities back then. Games were just so different back then. So Capcom took a game from that generation, made it into a completely brand new game, completely modernised it, but at the same time they made that game feel familiar to long-term Resident Evil 2 fans like myself who played the original. And on top of that, like, you're talking about groundbreaking graphics, amazing action, amazing animation, amazing storytelling, amazing voice acting. Like, it is just a quality game. It's not just a remaster, you know, like Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy or Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Resident Evil 2 is a full-on game. It's a brand new game that satisfies long-term fans of Resident Evil 2 and newcomers alike. And when you can do that, that deserves an award. Because let's face it, are you getting the award? I'm sorry, but you ain't getting the award. The gamers don't get the award. IGN don't get the award. Jeff Keighley doesn't get the award. It's the developers that get the award. And why are they awarded? Are they awarded because of hype? Are they awarded because of sales? Are they awarded because of review scores? No, they're awarded because of the effort that they've put into their creation. It's their creation. And I just think, considering what Capcom did at Resident Evil 2, they definitely deserve an award for Game of the Year. And it's been out a year. people have had plenty of time to fully experience that game and the experience of DLC and all the different game modes and everything that goes along with it. People have not had enough time to fully experience Death Stranding, to fully take in what that game is all about. And I think for that reason and that reason alone, it's just not right to have that game as a Game of the Year nominee. So Jeff, I don't agree with you. I think we need to change things up. That was Jeff. No, he killed me for that now. I disagree with Jeff, so he killed me. I mean, I don't want to be too negative. Like, I don't want to be too kind of like salty, as the cool kids say these days. I love the game. Look, let's just get one thing perfectly clear. I have Death Stranding. I own the game. I've played it. I love it. I really do. I think it's an amazing game. I'm going to go back and stream it actually very soon. I've watched the Game Awards now for the last, this will be my 4th year, I think, of watching the Game Awards. I love what the Game Awards is. I love Jeff Keighley. I love like seeing games get the same level of attention as movies do and music do. I mean, considering that the video game industry makes more money than the music and movie industry, I think it's only right that video games get awarded. I love it. I love the game reveals, world premieres. There's nothing more exciting than sitting down in front of your TV at like 3 o'clock in the morning and hearing the words world premiere, because you never know what's going to pop up there. Last year, Mortal Kombat 11 got announced, and I swear to holy Jeebus, I fucking lost my mind. Like, I had to go looking for my mind because it was fucking gone. I was absolutely ecstatic when that game got announced. And then I checked the launch trailer and I found out that it was coming to the Switch. And then I might as well have been checking the St. Michael's at that stage, because I was out of earth at that stage. But that level of excitement is what I look forward to, I think, more than anything else in the Game Awards. Obviously, it's great to see a game win an award, but games like Mortal Kombat 11 being announced live, it's just amazing. So you never know what the hell is going on here, where am I going? You never know what game is going to get announced at the Game Awards. You really don't. And I love that so much. But it's the actual game awards that I want to focus on in this stream, and particularly the Game of the Year nominees and how they're nominated. And, you know, I suppose I'm really kind of... I have an issue of like the time it takes for a game to be... How long it takes for a game to be on the market before it gets nominated for Game of the Year. I don't agree with that process right now currently. I think Jeff needs to change things up there. I think Chad is right with September. I think September should be the cut-off point. You know, so if you're a game developer, right? If you're a game developer and you want to make a great game, make sure you release your game before September. That's what I would say. But like, it is a tough one, because if you are a game developer and you're creating a masterpiece, and you know in your heart and soul you're creating a masterpiece, and unfortunately the game gets released in like November, okay, that is unfortunate. But there has to be some level of fairness and equality when it comes to nominating a game for Game of the Year. It's a very simple point that I'm making, I think, personally, and it's the fact that everyone knows who will be voting for Death Stranding for Game of the Year. How many of those people have actually completed the game? And also, how many of those people actually have the game? Which is another thing. Like, what happens if you get a lot of like PlayStation fanboys who are like, "Yay, PlayStation! I got to vote this Game of the Year." Like, what happens then? Like, so it's just a pretty... The same can be said about movies as well, like, you know. But yeah. I'm kind of running out of things to say now about it, really. I just wanted to kind of wanted to voice my opinion on that. So I think it's fair that everyone agrees with me. So. Now I'm going to ask everyone, what was their favourite game they played this year so far? And I'm not going to do like a Jeff Keighley thing and do December of last year. I mean like January. So literally January 1st this year. What has been your favourite game so far that you've played? Let me know in the comment section below. And in my head I'm going to think of what that game was for me. I can tell you what my most hyped for game was. It was Mortal Kombat 11.
I haven't gotten a new game this year.
You haven't gotten a new game this year. Okay, I'll alter the question for you, so James. That's okay, James. Don't worry about that. That's okay. What game? Like, it doesn't have to be a new game now. What game have you been enjoying the most this year? Well, I also voted. I actually voted for a lot of games. Actually, there's a nominee. It's called Best Ongoing Game. Oh, sorry. There's a what you call it? There's a category. There's a category for Best Ongoing Game, and one of the nominees is Fortnite.
Destiny 2 or Battlefront 2.
Good stuff. Good stuff, James. Good stuff, man. So those are the games that you're enjoying most. I think there should be a new category. Let me pause this for a second. I think there should be a new category in the Game Awards. Maybe next year. It should be a category where the fan. Oh, well, this is a pretty strange one, really. That can't be really an award, can it? No. What I was going to say is if Jeff asked the fans like what's the one game that they play the most, but then again they could do that, couldn't they? They could just have a trophy that just says favorite game. I don't know. And then Jeff could just put the name of the game onto it later on. So if Jeff asked the audience, like, you know, what's the one game that you're playing the most, or what's the one game that you've loved this year? It doesn't have to be a new game. Could easily be somebody that played Tetris over and over again, and just see what the most fucking what the most favourable game is based off how many people are playing that game. Thingy majiggy. Yeah. Does that make sense? But I forgot what I was going to say now, actually. Oh yeah, I actually voted Fortnite for Best Ongoing Game because, listen, I don't play Fortnite. Okay, I don't play that game anymore. I wouldn't consider myself a huge fan of that game. But I look around, and you'd want to be blind, or you'd want to be just like ignorant, right, to ignore how big of a game Fortnite is and how many people play that game ongoing. So there is no doubt in my mind that that game deserves Best Ongoing Game. Like, if you like see, this is another thing as well. This is another thing as well. Some people vote based off their personal preferences, based off whether they're a fan of the game or not. And I think that's kind of, but you can't really change that. You can't really stop that. Like, if you make, this is why, in a way, like, Jeff kind of prefers not to make votes entirely public. Because if you make voting entirely public, then you will get that mentality. You will get the mentality where, like, you know, the voting process will be completely hijacked by fanboys, and it's not really fair to have that. So, but you will get that, like, with the public voting. So yeah, I honestly do think that Fortnite does actually deserve Best Ongoing Game. But to revisit the point of this live stream, which is my issue with the Game Awards, they nominate Game of the Year games. Death Stranding being released like literally a month before the Game Awards. It's just not right. It's just too soon. Too soon, bro. Too soon. Not everyone has that game complete. You can't be asked to nominate a game that you haven't actually gotten the most out of. Damn it. Lights, camera, action. I also voted Mortal Kombat 11 as best fighter. And that's actually not because I'm a fan. The reality is I've only played 2 of the nominees, Mortal Kombat 11 and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, so I can't really speak for the other fighting games that are nominated. I think Dead or Alive was one of them. I can't speak for the other ones, but I look at Mortal Kombat 11 compared to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and I have to admit, like, Mortal Kombat 11 has far more innovation, far more new content, new modes than Smash Bros. Does. I mean, the big selling point of Smash Bros. Is everyone is here. Yeah, but half of those people, I don't even know who they are. It's like a Christmas party, family Christmas party. Here's our Francis, say hello to Francis. And you're like, who's she? No shit. You know? So, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the same. Say hello to Terry! You know Terry, don't you? No. No, yes. You know? So, like, yeah. Well, it's like Mortal Kombat, like, has an amazing cinematic story. Probably one of the best stories of any Mortal Kombat game. You know, telling a story of this mysterious character called Kronika, which controls time itself and just rewrites the entire history of Mortal Kombat 11, bringing back past characters. Oh, it's just so cool. A full-on cinematic story campaign. It also has traditional towers, which basically will be your arcade mode. Choose your fighter. Every fighter has their own ending. But you could also have like these cool little kind of like towers of time as well, which connect to the internet. They continually change and they give you very unique challenges. All the various online modes. It's got a crypt where you can unlock all different types of content, which acts as a game in its own right, to be honest with you. It just got so much to it, and that's just content, but the gameplay itself, like, it's really different. I mean, it's got like crushing blows. It's really like an in-depth fighting game. Whereas, let's be honest with you, like, no, I own both of those games. I own Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Mortal Kombat 11, so I can talk about those games, okay? I have the right to talk about those games. But I think compared to out of the 2 games, like, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has the exact same gameplay. Let's be honest, then like some of the earliest Super Smash Bros. Games, it hasn't really changed up its gameplay. And the great thing about Mortal Kombat 11 is customer service. No, custom variations. Like, not only can you pick different fighting styles like you could in Mortal Kombat X, but you can now customize the appearance of your fighter, and you can choose like specific special moves to give to your fighters, which wasn't even in Mortal Kombat X. Mortal Kombat X, you just picked like a preset. My ear is itchy. Sorry, a preset fighting style. Whereas in Mortal Kombat 11, you can actually choose specific moves that you want. So it's a lot more. There's a lot more you get in Mortal Kombat 11. But it's supposed to have to throw in a Nintendo game there, isn't it, for Game of the Year? Oh yeah, but sorry, so it's also, yeah, sorry, I got mixed up there. So Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is nominated for Best Fighting Game, but it's also been nominated for Game of the Year. I think nominating for Game of the Year is a bit of a strange one, personally. I really do. What do you think? Let me know what you think. I just think it's a pretty strange decision. Like, I know they had to get a Nintendo game in there, but considering that Link's Awakening got nominated twice, I think it was for Best Action Adventure and for Best Art Direction. They could have just thrown it in there for Game of the Year as well, like. You know what I mean? So, Pretty strange decision in my opinion. I guess the whole thing is rigged. And Smash Bros. Wins Game of the Year, and then it ends with the 5th character for the fighter pass. And we're pleased to reveal the 5th fighter for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It is none other than Captain Toad. Say hello to Captain... What if it actually was Captain Toad? Seriously, what if it actually was Captain Toad? I'm actually deadly serious, like. Can I just Google something there for a second? If anyone's watching this live stream, just look at the timestamp on this, because I could actually have called this. Is Captain Toad in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate in some kind of capacity? Because there actually is no Toad in Captain Toad Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Okay, that's just a fan made. Is Toad in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? This article is about the character Toad for Peach's. He's actually not. Captain Toad DLC, or I'm cancelling my Super Smash Bros. Ultimate pre-order. Man, I could have called it. But the thing is, every character that's been revealed so far has been a third-party character, if I'm not mistaken. The first character was Joker from Persona 5, who we didn't really care much about. Second character, a bit better, Dragon Quest Hero. You know, considering that I'm playing out of Dragon Quest at the moment, I quite like that. Then you had Banjo-Kazooie, but that's supposed to... No, actually, he's a third-party character, though, because Banjo-Kazooie is owned by Microsoft. So that's third-party. And then we have Terry's Chocolate Fucking Orange. Sorry, Terry, whoever the fuck Terry is, from Fatal Fury fighting thingy majiggy. Oh, it was so funny. I have to tell you a funny story. I actually hope he's watching, because if he was watching it'll just make him laugh. And I'm just laughing thinking about it. But I was actually playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with one of my subs. I think he's subbed to my channel anyway. I'm subbed to his channel. Animation Time. So I was actually playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with Animation Time, and I said to him, "You can choose." I said to him, "You can choose any character for me. I don't mind what it is." He said, "All right, so you go random." So I go random, and the whole way through I was saying, "Oh God, this guy Terry. Look at this guy Terry. Look at this guy Terry." I said to myself, you know, because when I started up the game, it came up on the screen saying Terry is now available, and I was there to him. I was like, "Oh God, look at this guy Terry." And so he was like, "Oh, go on, so choose random." So I chose random, and have to guess who I got? Terry. I literally hated him so much I jumped off the side of the course. I couldn't stick him. Seriously. I jumped off the side of the course. I just would not allow Terry to win, like. So that's my funny little Smash Bros. Ultimate story anyway. But what if Captain Toad is actually... I'm going to make another stream. I'm actually going to make another stream about Captain Toad. This is so funny. I've got 2 viewers. To my 2 viewers, stay tuned. I'm going to make another stream. I'm going to call it Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
I'm watching on 2 accounts.
Watching on 2 accounts. Hardcore. James, stick around. I'm going to do another stream there. I'm going to talk about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. DLC predictions. Yeah, that's going to be a fun stream. I'll literally be like 2 seconds. So stay tuned.